What is the SPR?
It is America's safety blanket that makes us feel good every night when we go to sleep.
Man, now I'm all warm and fuzzy right now. Okay, first off, what is the SPR? Like, what does that acronym stand for?
The SPR, the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. What that is a great idea. I believe it was Eisenhower. Fact check me, please. Let me know. But I believe it was Eisenhower after World War II, during his initiative of creating the highway system that we now have, of saving oil and other products like that in time of need. Basically preparing us, in my opinion, for a time that if we actually had to shut off production of oil and we didn't receive it from other places, we would have oil to at least get to our military and our important people. Now, great idea. I love where their head is at. I think we need that. We don't use it for that. We use it for nothing but political gains. Both sides do it. But it was, if you didn't notice it in November of 2022, you're an idiot. And I highlight November of 2022 when President Biden was president. And he went around saying, look at me lowering oil prices. He started at about the middle of October. Well, what he was doing was actually draining the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, creating a fake surplus of oil reserves, and flooded our American market to allow us to lower the prices at the pump. During that, to where he said, I've lowered the prices of oil, to where I think the Democrats had a very good showing in November of 2022.
Yeah, it's really become a political tool. I think you said it best. The original use was to have a strategic petroleum reserve, so that if a 1971 oil embargo happened, if a COVID-like event on the opposite side, where all of a sudden oil became scarce, happened, we would at least have a window somewhere between 60 to 90 days. That's about how much oil we keep down there.
Yeah.
We would have an ability to at least continue to run our economy, or at least wind down and only have the strategic parts of our economy, which still run on fossil fuels, continue to work.
Yeah.
You know, we could all probably, this would not be fun, but we could all survive without driving a car.
Yes.
We couldn't survive without heat, or, really heat.
Yeah.
AC you could survive without. It's hard to survive without heat.
True.
And all of that's natural gas generated.
So right now, let me ask you this, since this last administration, the Biden administration, we have drained it. Do you know about where we're at percentage-wise of what we actually have?
I don't know off the top of my head. It's low. Right. I do know that.
Less than 50%?
It's definitely less than 50%.
Okay.
And I do know that good friend of ours, Secretary Chris Wright, who used to be the CEO over at Liberty Oilfield Services, who used to be sitting on our side.
He actually used to be on, he was on y'all's show at one time.
Yes, he's been on our podcast.
Yes.
That's why I say good friend. He's now Secretary of Energy. I think he came out on Fox News, recently and said the Biden administration drained the SPR so bad, there's now damage to the actual reserves. And so,
no. I was about to ask you that. So tell us exactly how we store this oil.
So what we actually have are these salt domes down in Louisiana. And there are, we could get into the really minute ways that oil, gas, and water are strategically trapped within formations. You can imagine, a lot of people think there are just pools of oil underground, and we drill a well and all of a sudden we hit a pool and we produce it. It used to be like that a little bit. There used to be so much oil that in Pennsylvania, you could drill 900 feet, you hit oil. You see those famous videos, the Rockefeller, and There Will Be Blood, oil shooting up out of the ground.
And don't forget Beverly Hillbillies.
Absolutely. You've got that.
Yeah.
And one of the early finds, specifically, ironically, what got the Hunt family started out in East Texas, was the discovery of salt domes, physically were strategic traps.
Yes.
Which was basically, you can imagine a dome that is a salt carbonate. We call them salt domes.
And it holds it in place.
And it's literally a pool of oil.
Yes.
And so what we've done is we've drained those over time because we've produced them to actually way back when in the 70s and the 80s when we found them. And we've basically preserved them and now actually pump oil into those salt domes, or we can call them carbonate structures, that allow us to then extract it in real time, because it's one of the few naturally occurring geological structures that actually does act like a pool.
So we literally are using Mother Nature to hold our oil for us.
It's a miracle of modern engineering.
Right. And then so it means we're taking it out of the ground and then we're putting it back in the ground.
Yep.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And then we know where it is.
It's almost an underground storage tank.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember when the Trumper back in 2020 was willing to pay $25 a barrel to fill it up?
We should have.
Should have done it. Should have done it. I know that we grew tremendously because we were buying other oil leases and other companies for $25 a barrel. We'd be able to borrow money off of that as a country, probably pay our debt off. No, I don't
buy low, sell high.
But yes, that is exactly what it is. These salt domes, caverns, and they're not just in Louisiana. They're strategic, and then there are some literally just tanks in some other places, right? That just
there's some surface tanks as well, but they're not as big as the underground salt domes are. You can hold a lot more.
But also, since those salt domes aren't filled up, those are now deteriorating. And so those actual natural caverns that hold oil are actually not able to hold oil.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Now, to steelman the other side, I've heard that some of that is just natural decay over time and is not necessarily due to the lower levels.
Yeah.
The question and the answer is usually always in between that.
It's always in between. There's always an in between.
There always is. So the SPR is it's very important
because it's a strategic,
but we've dropped the strategic from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, and now it's just a petroleum reserve that's used on both sides for political gain.
Yes. Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Thank you.